5 seconds.
What about this dude who shot people at the Lone Star Rally this weekend?
What did he do?
Some guy shot 6 people at the Lone Star Rally on Sunday night.
What was the Lone Star Rally?
It's a big motorcycle thing in Galveston.
Oh, really?
Okay, we are up.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Great
Of course, it's the Olympian Table. But there you go. Welcome to the party. And I've got my good friend Chase here from Lone Star Premier Mortgage. Good morning, Chase. How you doing, buddy?
How's it going, guys? Going good yourself?
Good. Living the dream.
Always.
So, what have you been doing this week?
I've been trying to recruit a couple new LOs, finalizing a new brokerage shop that we're going to be going into. My wife turned 40 yesterday.
She did?
Yeah, so that was kind of an event for me. I went and played golf on Monday for the first time in probably 6 or 8 months, which you could tell that I hadn't played golf in about 6 or 8 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A little scramble for one of our family friends' gymnastic and softball team.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Giving back to the charity.
Golf does nothing for me at all. You hit a little ball
Mm-hmm. Not straight,
with a wooden stick
with a metal head on it.
in this little hole, and yet where the sport was invented, I love Scotland. That is honestly my. If I had the funds to retire comfortably, that's where I would retire.
Scotland?
Yes, but I would not. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen because I can't take my rental properties with me. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Do you play croquet, Stephen?
I beg your pardon.
It's the game with the mallet and the ball and the...
Oh,
I know he knows. I know he knows.
There's 2 types of croquet. The one is with a ball, and you open your legs and you just
Yeah.
kick it through. You know, that looks disgusting. And then the other thing you do is croquet with wool.
That's crochet.
Oh. So, there you go.
That's so funny.
Do you know the truth of the matter is, I went to a private school in quite a to-do area called Edgbaston. Well, it was then, I don't know if it is now. And on the front cover the other day, I found their advertising magazine, and have a guess what it had on the front of their advertising magazine. I'll bring it in for you.
At the store? What did they have on
Croquet.
it?
And to me, it's just the most boring sport. It really is.
So would you rather play golf or croquet?
Golf.
I've never been into golf.
I like golf. I'm not very good at it.
I lose too many balls.
That's just, you gotta understand that part. It's gonna happen. But I don't drive around and look for them for like 9 hours. Like I give it a good 7-10 second scan over, then I keep moving.
If it was me, I'd play like Trump. Because what they say about Trump is that when he plays golf, he's got the fastest cars,
Mm-hmm.
so he can drive up that fairway as faster than anybody else.
Okay.
And then if he can't find his ball, he'll just throw him onto the side.
That's genius. That's
You know.
called fun golf.
Go for it.
That's fun golf.
That's what I think should be taken into how golf is played.
The driving the fast car, or the just dropping your ball.
I think it should be taken into consideration how fast you drive your cart, because I can't tell you how frustrating it is. Sometimes you've got to wait at that tee. You've got to.
We had to do it all day long on Monday. It was so backed up. But have you seen Bubba Watson's golf cart? It's like one of those hoverboards, so it can go across the water and it goes on the grass as well. And
It's a hovercraft.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's his golf cart. And I was like, if I had the money like that, that's how my golf cart's gonna be. Because he'll just, and he can drive it right up to the green because it doesn't leave any like tire marks or anything. It's just like,
And if you think about it,
have you seen those?
that makes more sense to look after the courses.
Yeah. Have you seen those little remote control scooters now? You can ride it as together, or you can still walk and you can just push a button or connect to your phone, and the scooter will follow you no matter where you go throughout the whole course without you doing anything,
Oh,
just because of your
cool.
phone.
When I was a kid, and I used to go to Scotland a lot, because I used to compete in skating up in Scotland in Aviemore, I always used to go play golf once a year, play golf in a place called Netherbridge. And it was a little course, and it would exhaust me. Now I couldn't even walk around an 18-hole golf course.
Oh, I don't walk it. I definitely drive it.
Yeah, but in Europe we walk.
Yeah. No.
Well, perhaps now they they have golf carts, but
I just want to say that every place that you have mentioned sounds like it's from Lord of the Rings.
it's
That
what?
never.
Some of the places he did mention were probably in Lord of the Rings.
Some of the people what?
The towns you kept mentioning,
Uh-huh.
she thinks they're in Lord of the Rings.
Never. What did you say? Never.
Netherbridge.
Yes. Yeah. No. And Coventry.
Netherbridge. Well, that's near Birmingham.
It's still not a place. Did you see the guy who pranked golfers?
You are Netherbridge. Here it is. Built in 1810, the bridge over the River Nethe is a classic Telford sign with 3 arches. It is at the heart of the village, spanning the lowest reaches. And there's pictures of it. Go and have a look. It's beautiful, and it's near. If you bring it up on Google, it's got pictures of Aviemore, Grantown. That's another area. Grantown on Spey, Boats of Garden. Beautiful areas of Scotland. Absolutely beautiful. The original areas.
You'll have to take us to that magical land.
It is magical. It's very magical. It's a bit like Harry Potter.
That's what I was thinking about when you were talking.
Yeah. But I love Scotland. I really do. But anyway, so let's sort of move on. It was election day yesterday, and we were going to talk about that and see what were your views on that, Chase? Did you sort of have any interest in it at all, or no
Nope.
interest whatsoever?
No interest at all.
Yeah, I had a lot of
I
interest.
feel like it's a big racket. We're just all getting played.
No, I don't think so. I don't think people should complain about the country if they don't vote. That's my opinion.
100%.
So
You're not going to take
if you're
action.
not going to play the game,
Mhm.
then But basically, Democrats won big on the abortion rights on Tuesday, and
Yeah, it looks like Ohio is really wanting it for a while.
And the truth of the matter is, what are the results saying about what's going on in 2024? The interesting part of all of this is there's some Republicans are saying that they don't want Donald Trump as their leader, especially with all the legalities that are going on with him at the moment.
Mhm.
And some people are saying that Joe Biden's too old, and they want a new leadership for the Democratic Party. The interesting part to all of this is if Trump wins, then he will be the oldest president that's ever entered the White House.
And he can run for a second term after that one, right?
No, because he's already been.
I think the rules say you can't have it back to back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so then he would be the first president to get a
Well,
third term.
what's the latest thing with Trump?
I just
He's
saw that.
basically turning around and saying
He got
that
some-
he's going to bring in the National Guard on day one and arrest all his enemies or whatever. So
He got something that he didn't win in court recently. I was just reading about it. It's a
yeah,
delayed trial for months, but he gave him partial victory.
but basically, abortion rights supporters won in Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
which was very, very surprising.
Yeah.
The governor was up for re-election in Kentucky, and he won by a bigger margin than what he did previously in 2019. And basically, at this point, the US Supreme Court are looking pretty stupid because they overturned Roe versus Wade, all right, because it's a very right-wing Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening now, people in numbers, I don't know if that's good for the Republicans or what, but I definitely don't think it's good for the megas. That are very, very to the right. And with that being said, the guy that won Kentucky, and I'm trying to get his name here, Andy Beshear, was re-elected in a state that Trump had won by 26 percentage points.
Yeah.
Beshear had criticised the abortion views of his Republican challenger, Attorney General Daniel Cameron, in debates and television ads. One Beshear ad featured a woman who miscarried after being raped by her stepfather, aged 12, expressing disbelief at Cameron's opposition to abortion in cases of rape and incest. And we basically have that ad that we're going to show people now, correct? And then let's discuss it from there, because it's a very, very strong ad. I was surprised to even, see it.
Yeah.
Do you not think that's a strong ad?
I think it is.
She was basically saying, and I want to say how strong this girl is for coming out and saying what happened, but basically, as it says on the video, her stepfather raped her at the age of 12, and if this abortion ban, is there, then basically she has no options, she has no freedom of choice, and that's what I think is happening with this abortion. In a perfect world, I agree with pro-life, in a perfect world, but unfortunately, this world is not perfect, and I do believe that people have the freedom of choice,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the part that it's so difficult. And for people like this young lady to come out, I think takes a
lot of strength.
Incredible strength. I really think it's incredible. So it very does. So what we got next, Kay? You might have to bring that up.
We have, so the next thing that we have are kind of sticking with what we were talking about, the shutdown that's coming up.
So the government is basically shutting down in 11 days.
Threatening a shutdown.
Yeah, they're threatening a shutdown in 11 days, and the Republicans are basically want to talk about gas ovens. The United States is little more than 1 week away from a government shutdown, and Republicans are responding by talking about gas ovens. The House Committee on Small Business is holding a hearing this week on the effects of supposedly burdensome energy regulations, part of GOP's ongoing insistence that Democrats are unfairly trying. And what we're basically trying to do is to do away with gas ovens, almost embarrassing what we're doing in the hearing tomorrow on gas stoves and ceiling fans when we've got everything happening in this world. It is just unbelievable that we've got a government shutdown, and these politicians who supposedly, we need to start talking about,
gas ovens and ceiling fans.
Well, we need to start talking about things that affect the families, on how we can help families out there, get through the challenges, the day-to-day challenges that we all go through. The House managed to pass a continuing resolution in September to keep the government open. The deal ultimately resulted in Kevin McCarthy getting ousted as Speaker. His successor, Mike Johnson, said Tuesday that he has a plan to keep the government funded. The Republicans are once again struggling to come together. Their inability to agree on a budget is what brought the US to the brink of shutdown multiple times this year.
So that's just for the budget.
Yeah. And then basically, there's two outcomes to this.
$106 billion request.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Gas stoves.
No, this is for help Ukraine, Israel, and Asian Pacific region and border security. Yep, that's pretty much what it is, about money again.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
What do you think the answer is to border security?
I think everyone should come over the right way. And if you did not do it the right way, then you should go back to where you came from.
Well, I will tell you that's easier said than done,
Mm-hmm.
because the immigration service, when they processed my immigration, and I was an Olympic competitor, they took 18 months.
Yeah.
And I think that's far too young. If I wanted to go to another country, it would have taken maybe 4, 5, 6 months. I had a job offer actually to go to China at one point. I know, mind it is part of the Commonwealth, but Australia, to do a work visa over there, because a visiting visa and a work visa was different in most countries. But I mean, it took 4 weeks.
To get the work visa?
To go to Australia. But
It took my father-in-law, so they're from the Philippines. My mother-in-law was a nurse. She got some program through the U.S. that got her to be able to come over here.
because she's a nurse. Right, and they do have a program for nurses because we need nurses.
Mm-hmm. But it took him almost a year to get his stuff.
Which is, to me, is unacceptable, to be perfectly honest. I think what we should be doing, and this is my honest opinion, is take them in, provide them with housing, and get them to work in relation to, you might call them little mini prisons, you might call them what you want.
Well, the camps, the little tent things?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, put them in, it's like, we interned the Japanese. I know it sounds harsh to say, but when World War II happened, it's like when we had the Vietnamese War. My wife was telling me stories about, when she came over, when we had the Vietnam War, she came over, they was pushing helicopters off the aircraft carriers, and they went to stay in a huge place they've got in Kansas, I believe, Fort Chaffee. That's it, Fort Chaffee. We went there actually. We visited it because you can drive in and have a look at all where they used to stay. But basically, put them to work with all the work that we've got, with the infrastructure that we need. Try and put them to work and put something into society. And if they don't meet the criteria, I think what needs to happen is, it's the background checks that are really important.
Well, some of these countries, you don't even have the background information. They don't have too many throughout, maybe like parts of South America and Central Mexico. Most of those people don't even have access to computers, or
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess through the other country, you get the background check through them, or?
Yeah, when I applied, there was, I think, FBI checks and all sorts of things on me. I really feel that went on, but the immigration system needs to be fixed. I think that's part of the problem, and I do think, the border needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
I don't think a wall's going to make any difference, to be perfectly honest. Will it help? There's so much technology now
Mm-hmm.
that I feel, but we do need to put more money into our borders. Because you've only got to look at what's going on in Israel and all the tunnels that they're building. That's basically what they're going to do, is build tunnels under the wall.
Mm-hmm. Well, they already have them, we just don't know about them.
Yeah. So, but interesting point regarding immigration and how different people look on it as a point. So let's talk about this lunatic in Houston.
The two kids.
19-year-old admits he's the guy that sucker punching people just so we could put it on TikTok and YouTube. So he's been going around the city sucker punching people who had done nothing with him, not in self-defense, not in nothing, and they found out who he is.
I thought it said there was two of them, an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old.
I think the 18-year-old was the one who was filming him.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So there was two people involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how ridiculous is this? You know,
That doesn't
do
make
you know they
any
did a
sense.
recent? There was some organisation did a recent poll with kids that are 15 or 16, and 70% of them want to be influencers on YouTube and all the other stuff, and only 2% make it. You know,
Social
what
media
happens to people
pranks that
wanting
is
to do the
hardly
trades, the
funny.
electrician,
A 19-year-old runs up on
Doctor, lawyer, teacher.
Absolutely, because I'll be honest with you, even now we're getting a shortage of plumbers and electricians.
That is hardly funny.
A 19-year-old runs up on
Yeah.
two
Labor
unsuspecting
is just
people
not
and sucker
making
punches them in the
sense.
back of the head.
You know?
There is actually a very famous YouTuber. I'll try to find it. Or not a very famous, but he's a very wealthy man, and he made a great point where he said that in the future, like within the next 5 or 10 years, you know how people are like, how to make money, you know how we have this how to make money, and you watch their courses on YouTube and blah 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 blah, where you're like influencers and all this stuff. He said that in the next 5 to 10 years, they're going to say how to make money or how to become a millionaire is by becoming a plumber, and then owning your own plumbing company, becoming an electrician, and then hiring workers to work for your company.
And I agree with
so
that.
it's going to go literally back to the trades because nobody wants to do the trades right now.
And I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, so it's all going to come right back full circle to where, I mean, it's really interesting.
And it
because-
normally does that. Things normally go full circle.
Exactly.
You know.
As someone who does have the ability to look at a lot of loans, the people that are doing those trades, they are usually making a lot more money than some of the people that went to school for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will tell you that the cost, I often wonder, I've got two kids. One's called Jack, one's called Jill. People laugh at me for that, but
I think it's very funny.
it was just my sense of humour. And my grandfather was called Jack, who I knew for very few years. He passed when I was about 7 years old, so I didn't really get to know him. But I've got a lot of his memories and a lot of his memorabilia, if you want to, his pocket watch and stuff. So I thought it was only natural that you call my daughter Jill. And it's amazing how many people would come up to me and say, "Are you joking? You've got a daughter called Jack and Jill." They were two of the most popular kids at school, just because of their names.
Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
Went up the hill.
Yeah. And basically, Jill, our goal was to get her through college, and she's got a PhD in business, and she graduates this year. If she had to pay for her education, we've paid for her education, then it would worry me with the debt that she's got and how long it'll be before she pays that debt off. And she's one of the lucky ones, because there's people that are graduating that have got humongous debt.
Amount of debt, yeah.
And then Jack, my son, who, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Jack. And basically, he's recently got a job.
In 10 years, there's going to be
selling tanks. You know, the big tanks that they put for septic systems. And he's been lucky enough, I think lucky enough, to get this job, and he pays him benefits, and he's a college dropout, just like his dad. But basically,
Me too, technically.
what's that?
I said me too, technically.
And basically, the truth of the matter is, he's saving money. He's got no debt. He's living at home. he's told us that his goal is, you know, to move out within X amount of time, but he's started to save up a little bit of money. He's investing a little bit of money. You know, and he's got no debt. You know, but it just goes to show that sometimes going to college is not the answer. And yet at one time, what was people telling you?
Go to college.
Go to college.
You can't make it unless you go to college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have the, Steven, if you want to show Chase and click the link that I just put, I'll play it as well.
The gas stove one?
No, if you scroll down, it should be the last one that I put in the podcast area.
Oh, good YouTuber, Graham Stevens. Was it Graham Stevens?
Probably.
Hold on, because I've got to adjust my sound.
You know, goes to trade
Oh, it automatically mutes. It's on the top left.
We have a plumber starting at the age of
And
18 who goes to trade
they
school
open up a
versus that
business.
of a doctor who goes into medical school debt. The plumber comes out ahead and could make even more money if they open up their business.
If they invest 1,000%, it's going to happen, and it needs to happen. These guys build the world. We couldn't even do this podcast right now if it weren't for tradesmen.
Yep. I have to agree with that 100%.
So over the course of a few years, plumbers, electricians, etc., make more money than doctors than the average doctor. Obviously, if you're like a surgeon or something, you're probably gonna make more money. But you know, the average pediatrician or whatever, you know, you're not. It's not gonna work.
Well, I told you about, you know, my urologist. He had $370,000 worth of debt, and he was like 35 years old.
Exactly.
How the heck's he going to pay that back? Cool, you know he's got to pay it back. Charge high fees for medical care for people that need medical care.
Like an aspirin costs you $500.
Medical care over here is so worried.
Outrageous.
It worries me when I'm getting to, you know, retirement age. I haven't got long left before I retire, and it's pretty worrying, to be perfectly honest.
You know, just flip some more
because
holes.
because of the cost of
Everything.
you know, the cost of the medical care. My one medication that I take for epilepsy over here costs $1,100 a month. In Europe, it's about $45.
That's a huge difference.
Because you've got, somebody explained to me the other day, he was a pharmacist in our office, and he was saying, you've got the pharmaceutical company, then you've got the middleman, the wholesaler,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got the retailer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 stages that it goes through.
And 3 different paychecks they all get hit with. You know.
So literally, everybody's got to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to get their chunk.
That is so crazy.
Well, like, you know, medical saleswomen, whatever. You know, I mean, I think their average income is like $200,000.
That's ridiculous. Anyway, we are going to finish off with some good news. We are going to talk about US 30-year mortgage rate plunges by most 16 months.
Mm-hmm.
So they hopefully have started to come down. The interest rate for most common type of US residential mortgage plummeted last week by the most in nearly 16 months on the back of a rally in the Treasury market that drove down the benchmark yields used to set home loan costs.
Yep.
The mortgage bankers on Wednesday said the average contract rate on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage dropped in the week ending November the 3rd by a 0.25 percentage point to 7.61, the lowest in about a month. It was the largest drop since late July 22nd.
While we've been sitting in this podcast area, I've got 3 emails from 3 different banks all saying pricing has improved.
So there you go.
So right now, that 7.125 is probably going to be 6.875.
Yeah.
Which, you know, when we first started introducing the sixes again to the people, they were freaking out. Now everyone's loving the sixes again.
Well, I don't know if I ever told you, but I bought my first house at 18.2%.
Mine was 12, duplex, and I had good credit. I was 19
I
years
was
old.
new to the country, had no credit, everything was against me, and I bought my first house. But the house is the cost of the houses were a lot less then. I paid $97,000 for my first house, and it was 18% interest. I'll never forget going to the VA centre to sign my loan docs, and it was like over 100 pages.
Yeah, now it's like 40.
And then at the end of it, when I signed it all, I thought the lady was just being facetious to me. Turned around and says, "Now, did you read every page?"
Isn't that what you're supposed to be doing, Title? Help us out here.
I'm like, come on. These papers should be fair.
So what do you guys think that's going to do for the buyers and the sellers with the mortgage rates?
Well, you said yourself you felt that housing prices are coming down a little bit. I think new builders will reduce some of their prices by the end of the year because they don't want to pay
Insurance.
Well, they don't want to pay property taxes on some of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, they got to pay the full year if they have it right now, anyways.
Yeah. So, you know, they'll sort of be giving some incentives, I think.
Well, you have most of them, their fiscal year ended in October or this month.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see some crazy specials, you go to a builder like around November 20th and say, show me the inventory home you have to sell now. I'll give you $40,000 off your list price, but I'll close before the end of the month.
Uh-huh.
They might jump on these deals, you know, especially if you're an investor.
There's one builder.
Lenard has 704 deliveries or something like that. I was talking to the mortgage manager there last night.
There's one builder up in Conroe that's offering like $50,000 off a house.
If you close before the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they already reported those numbers to their Wall Street guys, you know, and so they want to make sure they make that number because they don't want to go back and say, hey, we didn't get everything.
We didn't make our quotes.
And I mean, yeah, maybe having your number be 700 in 1 month, that's also pretty big.
Absolutely.
I'd be impressed if they got that done though.
Anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Tomorrow we've got the Texas Real Estate Show. I want to thank Chase for coming in. How do we get hold of you, Chase?
You can email me at chase@lspmortgage.com.
And you can contact me through C21 Olympian TX on all social media channels. You'll actually get hold of Kay because she manages all my social media. So, or if not, you can reach out to Kay, or you can reach out to me if you're interested in becoming an investor, or you're interested in becoming an agent, or know more about the industry. We would love to meet you. So until next week, we will see you at 10:30, same time, same channel. Bye for now, ta-da for now, and peace.